Stirring the coffee with chopsticks, using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Nice. $8 coffee, ground beans, just ground them, put them in the French press. Your coffee, how to make a great cup of coffee is coming soon. That video will be coming real soon to show you how I do it. And I steep it for, this one was for 9 minutes before I pressed it down, put in some cream, a little bit of honey, because I'm not a real man. Coffee with cream and honey. I love it. Let's get started. Yesterday was a trip. Went to a coffee shop near me, which will remain nameless. Went in there, and there was one woman with hair as short as mine that was purple. Couple soft-looking, hipster-looking dudes. One guy with a great beard who I gave a card to and said, hey man, if you need a beard trim, let me know. Always be closing. Always be doing business. You never totally clock out. Remember that. Everyone looking at their phones and laptops, everybody. Not one single word being exchanged anywhere. It was quiet, like this. It was quiet, just like this. Now, can you imagine me in this coffee shop stirring my coffee with chopsticks, using the vortex method? All of a sudden it would be like, what? And then I get on my roll and do my thing. I would have been probably thrown out of there within 5 minutes. It was definitely, I turned it into an unsafe zone for the 20 people that were there. Police would have to forcibly remove me from there, I would imagine. You can't handle the truth. Then I went and got my hair cut. And from a place where I go every now and then. You know, I've been to 287 different chairs. This chair I've been to probably a dozen times out of those 287 times. And he said, do your show from here. Do it from here. So maybe I might do a live broadcast from there. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. Good heavens, Miss Sakamoto, you're beautiful. Thomas Dolby, 1982. You are allowed to say, I'm not good with computers, only once. Now that you've been saying that for 20 years, what you're really saying is, I don't want to be good with computers. You ever know anyone who's like that? I'm not really good with computers. I'm not good with this or that. But they've been saying it for years. I'm not really good with social media. You can't keep saying that. After the first time, you don't want to be good with it because you can learn anything you want. Anything you want. Your regularly scheduled Masculinity is Toxic commercials and news segments will resume after Valentine's Day. You better put tweets for discussion only, and retweets don't equal endorsement, just in case you're going to be running for office in 10 years and they check your Twitter. I spent decades going to Bible studies, retreats, men's breakfasts. I was always the one that needed prayer. I had more hands laid on me than Macaulay Culkin at Neverland. I know black dudes at my gym. One is one of my workout partners. He's older than me. There's a few of the guys there in their late 60s and 70s. Shaved heads, so no visible gray, clean-shaven faces, clean-shaven head. Great. There's 4 guys from great shape all the way to jacked. They don't look a day over 50. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't know they were 70 if they didn't tell me. Now that's a gift. What keeps a hot air balloon down? Ballast. Sandbags. What allows it to rise? When you release the sandbags. What keeps you down? Better question. What or who is the ballast in your life? Release it or them, and then you'll rise. It's simple. I can spend 2 hours with you and tell you who you need to unload and what you need to stop doing, and you'll get better just by yourself. And then I'll charge you. I will take your money to tell you who you need to get rid of and what you need to stop doing. And then you'll think I'm a miracle worker because I've been telling you the same thing your mama has been telling you for the past 20 years, and you didn't listen. Do not ignore the stare. Ignore it at your own peril. The stare. Men, you know what I'm talking about. Men don't have a stare. There are women who have the stare. I ignored the stare many, many years ago to my peril. My brother said to me, she has psycho eyes after the first time he saw her, met her. She has psycho eyes. I'm like, I'll knock it off. Because I was blinded by other things. Jay Abraham, my mentor, says, most entrepreneurs, when they're stressed or motivated, dig holes. You have to ask yourself some questions. Should I be digging the hole? Should I be digging there? What tool should I be using? And should I be the one digging the hole? Questions you all need to ask yourself about the tasks you are doing. It's all about efficiency, optimization, the highest and best use of your time now. I'm for gay marriage. Why should heterosexuals be the only ones who are miserable? Willie Nelson. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. I told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. Thin Lizzy, 1976. I don't know if this is nonsense or not, but I saw a quote that said 82% of women who make 6 figures a year do so through home-based businesses. Look that up. You make my speakers go boom boom, dancing on the tailgate in a full moon. Luke Bryan, 2011. Have you gotten the feeling that half the weather hype is a sophisticated, orchestrated plan to teach you that you can't rely on yourself and that you need the government to help you with the most basic elements: water, heat, food. Have you ever thought of that? No? Okay, go back to your hamster wheel. Oh, you have all natural and toxin-free products for my skin? I do too. They're in my refrigerator and in my kitchen cupboard. Don't even think of touching a black woman's hair. This is for the Caucasian men who think they want to cross the line and date, the racial line, and date black women who can be very beautiful. Don't even think of touching her hair unless she's a naturalista, which means that she doesn't have wigs, weaves, or extensions, or you are her hairdresser. That just went over the heads of 97% of the people watching this, guaranteed. All the naturalistas, my black sisters that are watching this right now, have a big grin on their face. Make afros great again. I know you want to high-five me right now. I know that. A hypothetical scenario, without sex being in the question, which eliminates all of you horn dogs, could you be snowed in for 3 days with that person that you're with? Power out, no TV, no Netflix, too dangerous to drive anywhere. Could you? Well, could you? Most likely, no. But could you? And if you could, why? Put your comments down below. Speaking of comments, it's not censorship if I delete and block. This is my turf. When you come into my house, you have to be on your best behavior. If you're not, you get thrown out. Simple as that. This is not the press. Yes, I believe in freedom of speech and free press, but that doesn't operate here. Change the channel. No one says you have to watch the same TV channel. If you don't like what you're watching, change it. Simple as that. Some people don't understand that. You know, I strongly advocate, now listen, having the funeral, quickly, the funeral, and burning everything that your ex ever gave you, or anything that reminds you of them. The thought of doing it is more distressing. Now listen close, because I know what you're thinking. You're hanging on to some things. I know that. The thought of getting rid of everything they ever gave you, is more distressing than actually doing it. Just the thought of it is kind of painful. And the reason is that they are connected to that, and there's like a little hope connected to that. Unload it. Well, what if it's a gold bracelet? Maybe I'll just sell it and get the money and use it for... No. Actually, there is an incredibly freeing thing that happens when you unload even something that somebody paid money for. When you unload that thing, it cuts the cord, and you're free. You don't want that blood money. You don't want the blood money. Out. If you don't do that, don't come crying to me, because that's one of the first things I'm going to ask you if you want coaching. That's one of the very first things. When you do it, though, you will feel better almost instantly. Just burn it. You ignored the check engine light and your engine seized. You ignored the red flags and your relationship crashed. Stop ignoring stuff. The seeds of doubt that you once had about that person are now fully grown trees of mistrust. The little things that bother you now will be huge things that will keep you awake at night. She reveals her plan B when she doesn't take your lead. Fire up the carousel, boys, because she's going to be riding it soon. She needs to follow you to the ends of the earth. That's fitting in your frame. If she doesn't follow you, then she doesn't respect you. Remember, women, to borrow and modify a phrase, women make rules for men they like, and women break rules for men that they truly love. What's the one thing all of your bad relationships have in common? Put the comments down below. I'm just taking your temperature. If she's not buying a favorite snack for you, who is she buying them for? Which song has the best beginning? Stranglehold? Crazy Train? Immigrant Song? Or Don't Take Me Alive? I took a poll. 19% said Stranglehold, 35% said Crazy Train, 42% said Immigrant Song, 4% said Don't Take Me Alive. I am of the firm belief that mobile devices have contributed to damaging many modern marriages beyond repair. I believe that. And I still stand by this statement. I would rather help save a person than save a marriage. Saving marriages is, number one, it's a myth. Number two, it's too hard because it takes both people to want to do it. But if a marriage comes back together after infidelity, this is my belief, that means one person just gave up on trying to save the other person. That's the first thing. And then the other person went, whew, I got away with that. And you will never, ever trust them as long as you live. They are 5 minutes late coming home. Guess where your mind is going to go. And it's not about submitting it to Jesus. I know a lot of Christian people just check their brains at the door of the church before they sit in the pew. Use your head. It's been said that something happens when people come to Western countries, especially women. Jewish women in the United States are so different than Israeli women. Have you ever noticed this, and do you have a theory to share that when women come to America, something really bad happens to them? Put your comments down below, or any experiences that you might have. Royal Caribbean is hiring somebody as a shore explorer, where you will spend a year on one of their biggest ships, and they will pay you $136,000, and you need to document and do videos and just blow up social media with Royal Caribbean everywhere you go on the ship, all your excursions. Would you do that for $136,000? That's called Shore Explorer. The beat from the Bee Gees song Jive Talking came from when they were driving over Biscayne Bridge at 37 miles an hour. The road had so many sections in it, it inspired the beat as the tires hit each section. Look on YouTube at the song Jive Talking by the Bee Gees, and you'll see the beat sounds like going over a rickety bridge with a lot of sections in it. I took a poll. Friends with, 34% said benefits, 12% said possibilities, 30% said common interests, and 24% said, juicy fruit. I rarely offer teaching that I haven't benefited from myself. If I present a cold, hard truth pill here, chances are that I choked on that pill at one time myself. Therefore, theory is BS and doesn't save lives. I speak the truth. I am so old, I remember when women wanted to lose weight because their ass was so big. I remember that. My favorite home beard trimmer, just get it. It's called the Beardscape by Brio. I'll put a link down below. Just get it. Just shut up and get it. If you want a nice shadow beard, if you want a lined up beard, if you want a big beard, get it. It's called the Beardscape. It's my favorite home beard trimmer. Get it. The link is below. Splashing through the sandbar, talking by the campfire. It's the simple things in life, like when and where. We didn't have no internet, but man, I never will forget the way the moonlight shined upon her hair. Kid Rock, 2007. The old woman said of Ravi Zacharias, one of my favorite Christian teachers, I never heard anyone pray out loud before, and you did. And you gave thanks for the help in the kitchen that prepared the food. I got goosebumps just even reading that. During his time of saying grace, I grew up saying grace, giving thanks before he ate with people that he just barely knew and just met. He gave thanks for the people that prepared the food. Powerful stuff. And finally, a story. Bob Ross was so poor he couldn't afford haircuts, so he permed his own hair a few times a year into a big carefree afro. That hair became his trademark. He spent 20 years in the military in Alaska, and when he retired as Master Sergeant, he swore he'd never raise his voice again. He learned how to paint mountains and landscapes while being surrounded by them in Alaska. He painted on his lunch hour and sold his paintings on the side. People asked him to teach them his method. Some critics called him the Mr. Rogers of the art instruction world. He learned wet-on-wet technique from William Alexander and says that his skill was the most valuable gift he ever received. Bob was even on QVC with his products later in his career. He named his show after how he feels when he paints. The name of his show is called The Joy of Painting. He discovered that he had lymphoma in his later years, and he died at home in 1995 in Florida at the age of 52. He said one of his secrets for remaining happy was to not watch the news and create his own happiness. He never made mistakes. He only made happy accidents. He is one of the reasons why I don't watch the news anymore. Turn off the TV. If you can't turn off the TV, at least start by turning off the news. You will feel better. And a letter from a viewer. Hi George, my friends call me Donnie. I've been following your Daybreak show on YouTube for several months now. I really feel you're doing something great for us dudes and some very wise, lucky gals. I do believe your videos will continue to inspire many generations to come. I'm on the rebound from my second divorce. I feel you, bro. And demise of my 30-plus year newspaper union occupation. So now at 55, with a fixed retirement income and a huge monthly alimony payment, I realize I need to monetize or something on YouTube, teaching, or creator. I have been devoting most of my time towards what I love most, music performing, songwriting, teaching, recording, etc., which helps pay the bills. But for now, I would like to continue to grow my brand. Again, your Daybreak show gets me off my arse, but without going on and on. About me, I feel with your radio background, let's see, I would like to know if you could help me in any way. Any mentoring, constructive criticism, or feedback is more than welcome. I thank you, Sultan. Kindest regards. Donnie. Don is a singer, songwriter, music teacher from the Jersey Shore, recording and performing for over 30 years. Don has been in several popular tri-state bands, including Xeris, a popular New Jersey band who played the Stone Pony regularly. And the band featured Zakk Wylde, Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist, for 31 years and opened major recording artists such as Poison, Blue Oyster Cult, Zebra, White Lion, Twisted Sister, Widowmaker, RTZ, I don't know RTZ, featuring Brad Delp of Boston, Ace Frehley, Government Mule, and Badlands featuring Jake Lee. Very interesting. I went to your site. Your music is really beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Social media is the way that you're going to get out there. You want to get people's attention. If you're walking down a city street and you want all the heads to turn, you yell very loud, "Hey!" All of a sudden heads turn and look at you. People will not flow money in your direction, because that's ultimately what we want. People will not flow to you if they don't know you. So the key is to get people's attention. The number one commodity in any business now, whether you are a person or a business, is to get attention. The number one commodity is attention. So how do you get it? You can pay for it, or you can generate it organically by yourself. How do you do that? You're going to have to do that through social media. You must. Right now, social media is for free. Everything that used to cost money is now free. But the problem is this. There's a lot of people using the free media. So how do you differentiate yourself above everyone else? I know a bazillion musicians. My two favorite places are biker bars that have phenomenal bands, inspiring, incredible bands, talented people. But they're working UPS at night. They're driving truck. They're working in factories. They're working as forklift drivers. They're working as computer programmers. They're working as dentists. They're working as engineers. And sure, would they all love to do that for a living? Absolutely. Some of them, it'll be nothing more than just a hobby. You want to go beyond that, don't you? There's a way to do it. Time is coming to a close now at 55 years old, if it's not already closed. Reopen the door. Reopen the door with attention. Bring the attention to you. You've mixed with you've dropped some names here which showed me that you are legit. And I believe you. And I listened to your music on the link. I think you can do it. But you have to be different than everyone else. Loretta Lynn, I guess we would call her the mother of what we call modern country music, female country music, said, in order to make it in this business, and this is her exact words, someone said, how do you do it? What advice would you give? She said, in order to make it in this business, you need to be first, great, or different. Now, you're not going to be first unless you create something completely first. Something that no one has ever done. Who are I know who you've played with, but who are your influences? And how can you, for instance, if I take a box of Crayola crayons and I put them on a radiator or in a sunny windowsill, all of those colors are going to melt into one color. And that one color is going to be influenced by every single color that's there. What are all the colors that are in your life, and how can they be melted into a product that's different than the individual crayons itself? Look at all your influences. What now can you create as a result of having all those influences? I will ask you that. And write me. Everyone else, finish your coffee. And I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show.